श्री गणेशाय नमः। ॐ श्री सरस्वत्यै नमः। ॐ श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः। ॐ सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्। ॐ श्री सद्गुरुभ्यो नमः। ॐ ध्यायामि चिन्मयानन्दं गुरुदेवं महामतिं प्रेमपूर्णं क्रियाशीलं सदा लोकहिते रतं कृपालुं सुन्दराकारं समर्थं सत्यदर्शिनं वाचा तत्त्वप्रकाशिन्या शोकमोहविनाशिनं। ॐ श्री चिन्मय सद्गुरवे नमः। ॐ नमो नारायणाय। 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 ॐ ऋतगं सत्यं परं ब्रह्म पुरुषं कृष्णपिङ्गलम् ऊर्ध्वरेतं विरूपाक्षं विश्वरूपाय वै नमो नमः। ॐ नारायणाय विद्महे वासुदेवाय धीमहि तन्नो विष्णुः प्रचोदयात्। हरि ओम, सुप्रभातम, a warm welcome. ॐ शुक्लांबरधरं विष्णुं शशिवर्णं चतुर्भुजं प्रसन्नवदनं ध्यायेत् सर्वविघ्नोपशान्तये। ॐ शान्ताकारं भुजगशयनं पद्मनाभं सुरेशं विश्वाधारं गगनसदृशं मेघवर्णं शुभांगं लक्ष्मीकान्तं कमलनयनं योगिहृद्ध्यानगम्यं वन्दे विष्णुं भवभयहरं सर्वलोकैकनाथम्। ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। 48. ॐ यज्ञ इज्यो महेज्यश्च क्रतुः सत्रं सताङ्गतिः सर्वदर्शी विमुक्तात्मा सर्वज्ञो ज्ञानमुत्तमं सुव्रतः सुमुखः सूक्ष्मः सुघोषः सुखदः सुहृत् मनोहरोजितक्रोधो वीरबाहुर्विदारणः स्वापनस्ववशो व्यापी नैकात्मानैककर्मकृत् वत्सरो वत्सलो वत्सी रत्नगर्भो धनेश्वरः. We have been studying this particular shloka, and yesterday we saw Naikatma, na eka atma vidyate, meaning Na eka atma rupaha. That was a very important word there which we have to understand. Atma is only one, but Atma expresses itself as aneka rupa. Therefore, it is called as na eka rupa, aneka rupa. And the next word, interestingly, will be naika karma krita. The moment we say na eka atma, aneka atma, then aneka atma has naturally to perform aneka karma. Is it not? One individual himself performs multiple actions constantly. Is it not? Multiple actions. Some people do multitasking as though. If you see in a kitchen, probably the mother would prepare one upma in one gas stove. Today we have 4 burners. Is it not? Earlier days, I remember, we had only one small, this one with charcoal. And then everything has to be done in that only. So one after the other, the kitchen factory will start early in the morning at 4 o'clock, because by the time they get up and finish their morning chores, breakfast must be ready. Coffee must be ready. But today we have such multiple options. We have 4 burner, 6 burner in a kitchen. And the mother, you will see, in one burner gas stove, she will be preparing upma. Another, she would have kept some water for something. Another, milk will be there. Then decoction will go on at the same time. In between, she will also cut vegetables for the afternoon, because she has to go to work. Modern days, people go to work. So she has to prepare the afternoon lunch also at the same time. So multitasking goes on at a particular time. And imagine the amount of work all the inhabitants of that family, and then not to cut the story short, the whole humanity, and nay, even the unicellular organism. From the unicellular organism to this humanity, all the 84 lakh species and the innumerable numbers in each of these species together act at the same time. Think. Nahi kaschit kshanamapi jatu tishtati akarma krite. Jatu, the one who has taken birth, akarma krite, without action, nahi kshanamapi. Therefore, so much of actions takes place. And then, what is the logic there? Bhagavan performs all this karma. No. We need to understand. Now look at the word there, naika karma krit. When it is said, Bhagavan as the enlivening principle activates the organisms. And the organisms activated by, enlivened by, oriented by, directed by, as though they perform actions in the world outside. But all those actions, so many actions performed, is possible only because of the presence of Paramatma. Right? So from the standpoint of the worldly beings, it is all aneka karma. Not only that. Now here we are looking at Bhagavan as what? The Avatara Purusha Vishnu, if we look at it from that standpoint. Vishnu has taken so many avatars. And Mahavishnu also performs so many karma. Isn't it? Mahavishnu, again, if you look at it from the ultimate standpoint, he himself is the creator, he himself is the sustainer, he himself is a person who resolves. And therefore, karma is performed at all levels and it is enlivened by Brahman, but as Ishvara, Maya Kalpita Bhagavan is one who acts, who works. Isn't it? Therefore, he is called as Naika Karma Krite. Acharya says, Jagat Utpatti, Sampatti, Vipatti, Prabhriti Karmani Karoti iti Naika Karma Krite. The one who performs so many actions of creation, sustenance, dissolution, ityadi you may say. Aneka Karma Krite. Therefore, he is called Naika Karma Krite. Vatsaraha. What is this Vatsaraha? Vasati atra akhilam iti oh, as always, I am very good in making spelling mistakes and I am not good in proofreading. So please put up with me every time when there is a spelling mistake. Please understand. Vatsaraha. What is Vatsaraha? Vasati atra akhilam. The one who is. That principle in whom akhilam vasati. Akhilam meaning everything resides in him. Atra vasati. Therefore, he is that one in whom everything stays. Meaning what? He is the whole sustainer of everything, in whom every being dwells, lives, resides. This again thought has come very many times before in different namas. Right? The next one is a very, very beautiful name. Vatsalaha. If you go to Kerala, they say Valsalaha. Isn't it? Both are same. Vatsalaha. What is Vatsalaha? Bhakta snehitvat Vatsalaha. The one who is affectionate towards his devotees. The one who loves his devotees. What a beautiful nama given to Bhagavan. This word Vatsala is a very often used word as Vatsalyam. Now, where did it come from? In fact, Vatsalya is a word which has come from cows. A cow which protects its calf. When the calf takes birth, whenever a being takes birth, it comes out with so much of dirt. Mala ityadi, it comes out with so much of dirt. The cow, the mother, licks the calf. All the dirt. It never says, it is so dirty, I can't touch it. Go, clean it and come. No. That probably the so-called modern mothers may do so. Unfortunate. But, of course, we don't expect the mother to go and lick the child. That anyway the hospitals do these days. But the cows, they lick the calf and clean the calf. Not bothering about what is it that it is licking. It knows it is all that dirt. Therefore, it cleans the calf with its tongue. That cannot happen without that inner unconditional love. This love is something, you see, the mother's love is so wonderful. It is beyond even, in a manner of saying, beyond everything in this world. However, later days the mother, how she behaves, how she responds, it's all immaterial. But that love towards the child, however the mother may be it in a human being or be it in any prani, pakshi, etc., the mother being, the love it has towards his, child is so wonderful. So wonderful. It cannot be explained with words actually. Acharya also says, Bhakta snehitva, that sneha is similar to that love which the cow has for the calf. This kind of love only Bhagavan can have towards people. We human beings, we cannot have this kind of love towards Bhagavan because first of all, we don't know what Bhagavan is. We have taken that name for granted. We have been told this is Bhagavan. We have been told He is everything. We have been told He is everywhere. We have been told Sarvajnaha, Sarvashaktiman, Sarvavyapi, ityadi, blah, blah, blah. We have been told, and it has gone into my mind right from my childhood, and therefore there is no two opinions. Bhagavan, Bhagavan. Sarvashaktiman, Sarvashaktiman. But what it is? What exactly? Who exactly is that Bhagavan? We all don't know. Therefore, we are unable to connect ourselves with Bhagavan with that kind of sneha. Whereas Bhagavan has got that kind of vatsalya towards the entire universe. Think. There are so many people, so many Santa Purushas, so many Bhakta, Dasas, etc., who have understood this love. Therefore, you will find that they also express their love in return. But when it is compared with Bhagavan's love towards them, it is such a minuscule thing. However, the one who has understood the nature of Bhagavan, one who has understood the love of Bhagavan, who is able to relate themselves towards as a dasa of Bhagavan, actually experience a great amount of sneha, a great amount of prema, a great amount of love, and they actually feel in their heart. Today we are unable to do it. Why? Because we have expectation oriented love, not only towards beings but also towards Bhagavan. Therefore, more often than not, we can realize, if only we can sit down and think, our love towards Bhagavan is nothing much different than our love towards a mobile or a thing or a being or some fanciful things of the world. They are all the same. Maybe a 10 degree more towards Bhagavan. But the quality and texture of love that we experience towards Bhagavan is as good as the way we experience towards the things and beings. Why? We have not understood that Vatsalya of Bhagavan. Think. The Vatsalya is so selfless. All of our love also is, we definitely have lots of love towards Bhagavan. Let us not deny it. Even though we say there is no Bhagavan, even that person thinks about Bhagavan. Therefore, there is one iota of love there definitely. But the point is that Vatsalya, that love caring for other without expectation. Think. Is something which is incomparable. We may also say, in a manner of saying, a mother's love towards the child when the child is still a baby. I have to add this. Unfortunately, I have to add this. Why? Because the moment the baby grows and becomes a bigger son and this one, then the expectation starts actually. Think. But that time when the baby is still in the cradle, when the baby is still lying next to the mother, we cannot say when the baby is in the womb. At that time, the transaction doesn't take place. In a manner of saying, yes, there is love. But when the baby is born and the baby is laid next to the mother, the love which the mother shows, and when the baby is slowly growing and the baby started recognizing the mother, the baby is able to recognize the father, baby is able to recognize the surroundings, in a manner of saying, recognizing in the manner of saying. The baby starts smiling, the baby starts playing with its little arms and legs. That time, the mother's love is so pure, so unselfish, so uncontaminated. And the mother also plays with the child. In fact, even though there may be so many people around them, the mother makes very, very horrible, not horrible, very different faces to make the child laugh, to make the child happy. The mother, she is insensitive of the external world, probably which she will not do when the child is grown. Is it not? At that period of time, when there is no selflessness, when there is no expectation, when there is no demand from the child, that time you will see the love, the vatsalya of the mother towards the child is so beautiful. Think. That kind of selfless vatsalya the mother can have only with her child. Whereas Bhagavan, as the very mother of the whole creation, has got similar vatsalya with the whole creation, with every single one of us, even though we are grown. The difference between a mother in the world and Bhagavan is the mother in the world has that kind of expressions, that kind of emotions when the child is still a baby. But after the child grows, the mother will no more have that kind of an emotion. Whereas Bhagavan has that Vatsalya with everyone, irrespective of what we are, how old we are, how young we are, nothing. He has that Vatsalya at all given period of time. And then Acharya says, Bhakta Snehitvat. All the more when we have love for Bhagavan, when we are the devotees of Bhagavan, meaning what? When we have completely surrendered at the feet of the Bhagavan. And say, there is nothing other than you, Bhagavan, I am at your feet. Vasudeva vigataga sangatava dasoham dasoham. When we become his dasa, the amount of vatsalya he expresses towards us, the amount of vatsalya he shows us, we can actually experience even in our day-to-day life. Think. We can actually experience the love of Bhagavan. We can actually experience the grace of Bhagavan. However, our knowledge of that vatsalya may be very small. Our experience of that Vatsalya may be very small, limited to certain things, certain circumstances, certain gains, certain, collections, assimilations, etc. Our Vatsalya might be very small, rather our understanding of the Vatsalya. But Bhagavan is a very embodiment of Vatsalya. Therefore, he is called as Vatsalaha, the one who loves everyone irrespective of anything. Even if we are against Bhagavan, he will still love us in spite of what we are. That is a guna of Bhagavan. Just as the children, a little after they grow, they shout at the mother, and in fact the child kicks the mother, and the mother enjoys that kick. Think. A mother enjoys the kick of the child, and it says, kick me more. Father says, beat me more. That anyway the children do even when they are old. But at that time it is what? Vatsalya. It is love. It is pure emotion. Bhakta snehitvat vatsalaha. Vatsi. Another very beautiful name. Vatsanam palanat vatsi. Vatsa means son, literal meaning, or child. Vatsa means son, or Vatsa we can take it as child. Even girl child is also included here. Vatsanam, Vatsana meaning what? Or the whole world only. It is not that Rama only for Lavakusha. No. Vatsa means what? For Bhagavan, everything is Vatsa only. There is nothing other than that. Therefore, Vatsanam palanat, he protects. Now look at the next explanation here. Jagat Pituhu, he is the very father of the entire Jagat. Jagat Pituhu tasya vatsabhritaha prajaha iti vavatsi. Because he is the father, like a father is generally translated, but meaning what? He is the real father also. Here who is indicated? Ishvara is indicated. Ishvara as the very father of the entire creation, because he is the cause for the entire creation. And he has the whole creation under his control is one way of saying. Another one is, as a father, he takes care of the entire creation. As we had several times said before, even the so-called negative aspects of the in the world, what we see as negative, is also a manner of protection only. Because he has to balance. The entire universe he has to balance and run the show. Therefore, to indicate goodness, there are certain badness expressed, so that we understand what is negative and what is positive. However, in both the cases, it is Bhagavan who protects. He is the Annadata. That is why we say, Tvameva Mata cha Pita Tvameva, Tvameva Bandhuscha Sakha Tvameva, Tvameva Vidya Dravinam Tvameva. What is the last one? Tvameva Sarvam. Everything is you only, Bhagavan. Therefore, Jagat Pituhu, he is the father of the entire world. Jagat Pituhu, Tasya Vatsabhritaha Prajaha. To whom? Towards his entire Prajaha. Therefore, he is called Vatsi. Palanat Vatsanam Vatsi. Ratnagarbha. This is basically with reference to the ocean. Bhagavan is also in the form of ocean. In the ocean, there are so many treasures like Ratna Vaidurya Ityadi, it is said, especially pearls and everything. The whole wealth which are found in the ocean is found in the ocean, meaning what? Bhagavan's womb. As though Bhagavan is indicated as the ocean, and in that ocean, in the womb of Bhagavan, all the wealth is there. Now again, you have to expand. This entire world is in the womb of Bhagavan. It is from him that the whole entire universe has come. And in this universe, so much of wealth is there. In fact, one step we may claim, what is that? Every human being is also a wealthy person. Meaning what? A human being is born with all intelligence and he has got so many values which he can gain, and through those values he becomes a very, very wonderful person, a role model in the society, and he becomes a wealth to the whole entire nation. Like that, every one of us can become. Of course, we cannot become because we have our own vasanas. That's a different thing. But Bhagavan holds all of us within him. In his womb, so much is there. So much of wealth is there. Therefore, he is called as Ratnagarbha. Ratnani Garbhabhutani Asyaiti Samudraha Ratnagarbha. The Samudra is actually indicated, but in this whole entire universe, which is also an ocean, we often say, what is that? Samsara Sagara, we say. This whole entire universe is nothing but samsara. And in this samsara sagara, there is so much of wealth in it. Therefore, he is also called Ratnagarbha. And again, Dhaneshwaraha. Dhananam Ishwaraha. The one who is Lord of the wealth. Again, wealth in terms of physical wealth, movable, immovable, and also wealth in terms of values. He is Dhaneshwaraha. Continuing, having completed 50 verses, we will enter into the 51st verse today. Dharma godharma kridharmi sadasatksharamaksharam avijñāta sahasramshur vidhāta kritalakshanaha. Dharma godharma kridharmi sadasatksharamaksharam avijñāta sahasramshur vidhāta kritalakshanaha. The 475th Nama is Dharma Gup. Now when you see the same thing in the shloka, it is called as Dharma Gup Dharma. The B Shabda is because of the next word, soft consonant. Otherwise, the Nama is Dharma Gup. What is this Dharma Gup? Dharman Gopayati iti Dharma Gup. Gopayati, Gopa means to protect. And Gopayati, the one who protects what? Dharman. The one who protects Dharman is called Dharma Gup. Dharma, the one, the protector, the sustainer of Dharma. Dharmam Palayati. Now see, the next word, we will see them together now. The explanation we will see together. Dharma Krit. What is Dharma Krit? The one, Dharma Adharma Vihinaha api Dharma Maryada Sthapanartham Dharmam Eva Karoti iti Dharma Krit. What a beautiful explanation. Dharma Adharma Vihinaha. Vihinaha here means the one who does not have is not the meaning. The one who transcends. Transcends what? Both Dharma and Adharma. Now, from the highest standpoint, dharma and adharma is always related to kriya, karma. He is akarta. Therefore, to him, karma does not belong. Karma is for whom? Only for the embodied, only for the jiva. Therefore, though he is beyond dharma and adharma, when he takes avatara in the world, for the sake of a particular activity, for the sake of a particular purpose, he follows dharma to the core. In any avatara you will see, dharma samsthapanarthaya sambhavami. For the sake of establishing dharma. Therefore, when we say dharma krita, he does only righteous deeds and for the sake of the entire universe as a teaching, as a torch. He performs only dharma. Look at the jivana of Bhagavan Sri Rama. Even Krishna, when he plays all kinds of tricks, his tricks are never adharmic. We have to understand this very clearly. His tricks are never adharmic, but it is definitely within the gamut of dharma. Though he plays tricks, he plays only dharmic tricks. He is never into adharma. Therefore, dharma maryada sthapanartham. Look at that beautiful word, dharma maryada. When it is said dharma maryada, at any given period of time, any of the avatars you will find, they protect dharma in their actions. They actually show the world. This is how dharma has to be protected. This is how dharma has to be established. This is how one has to work. Think. Why such a thing is required? Because the jiva gets into lot of adharmic activities. What do you call it as? Pushed by, provoked by what? By all our vasanas. Provoked by vasanas, instigated by our vasanas, we work for our own pleasure. However, even though we may be doing it, we have got so many ideals represented by the avatara of Bhagavan, where righteousness alone is established. Having seen that, having understood, having gained the leela, the knowledge of the leelas of Bhagavan, even we have to change our attitudes, change our ways of life, and then move towards dharmic way of life. To indicate, to show, to teach and guide humanity. Bhagavan's every activity is always dharmic. Therefore, he is called Dharmakrita. He does only righteous actions for establishment of dharma. And therefore, he is called Dharmakrita. Continuing. Dharmi. What is the next word? Dharmi. Dharman dharayati iti dharmi. The one who is the very what do you call it? Support. There is one very excellent word. The one who holds. Dharayati means the one who holds. Holds meaning what? He is the adhishtana. He is the adhara of what? All dharma. In fact, from the highest standpoint, dharma is only one. The expressions of dharma are many. We can't even actually translate the word dharma in any other bhasha. Therefore, to retain dharma is the best solution. Righteousness, all these are all the explanations or translations given, but actually the translation always has its limitations. Dharma is such a word which can never be properly, exactly translated. Therefore, nearest word is righteousness. And the one who supports dharma, when it is said, the one who is righteous and who guides people towards righteousness. And therefore it is called, he supports dharma, he holds dharma. And from our standpoint, dharmo rakshati rakshitaha. This dharma, our righteous attitudes alone will protect us. And that also as though protects dharma. It is not that we can protect dharma by being dharmic, we are upholding dharma in our life. Therefore, all the scriptures of the world directs people towards being dharmic. For the simple reason, when I perform my actions with dharma, there is a sense of fulfillment. There is a sense of joy. There is no guilt. There is no suffering. There is no mental confusion. There is no confrontation. I don't have to suffer to remember everything. Therefore, dharma is also that by which I can relax. My mind is calm. My mind is not agitated. My mind does not get frustrated or suffer. And such a mind which is quiet, which is composed, unconfused. A mind which is still, which is calm, which is definitely at peace, is a mind which is required to understand the Supreme. If I have to understand the Supreme, if I want Ananda, which is my Swarupa, to be understood by me and lived, then I must avoid all that which disturbs that Ananda, even from the Laukika standpoint. And what is it that which does disturb Ananda, which agitates my mind? All the adharma and adharmic activities will definitely disturb. A sense of fear comes in. A sense of guilt is there. And all these will constantly disturb my mind. Therefore, if we can avoid the adharma, then dharma is well protected and dharma keeps our mind calm and happy all the time. Therefore, he being the one who upholds dharma, he is called as dharmi. Sat. What is Sat? We have discussed this several times again. People who have not attended those sessions, for their benefit, Trikala Abhadita Vastu iti Satyam. Abhadita Vastu Satyam meaning what? The one which cannot be negated. One which is. The existence in everything is the Sat of that thing. In any kind of liquid, water content is there, H2O is the Sat. H2O is the truth in it. All other are impurities. Similarly, in our being, Bhagavan alone is the Sat. Anything other than Bhagavan is Asat only. Therefore, he is the truth of everything. Avitatham param brahma Sat. That which alone exists in everything is Sat. Sadeva Saumye Damagra Asit. The Upanishad says, hey Saumye, oh my dear, look at the teaching of the Upanishads. It teaches every one of us, my dear, it embraces everybody with that love. A love which expects nothing, anticipates nothing, wants nothing. But Bhagavan's love is holding all of us in spite of what we are. He brings in that beautiful emotion. It is very important. Why? Because this word Saumya is very, very beautiful. The moment we understand the love of a person, our mind opens to accept that person. As and when I accept that person, whatever the person says, my mind is able to relate and accept. Look at in the schools. When we go into a classroom, so many subjects takes place, so many teachers come, but the teacher who expresses her love towards the children also in turn love towards them. And when that relationship is struck, the relationship of what? Not relationship of expectation and selfishness, a relationship which is purely out of uncontaminated love. There are so many teachers, I myself can remember so many teachers of mine. One exceptionally I would like to remember him today. One Mr. Krishnamurthy, he was my math teacher. And every class in the whole school would love him so much. And the way he used to teach us was so much down to earth. And whenever he finds somebody not being able, not concentrated, distracted, etc., he will not, like many other teachers, he will not shout or say, "Get out of my class." All that he would not do. He will go near that boy. He will pat him and say, "Don't you love your friend?" Who will say no? Isn't it? If I am distracting, I am also making my friend distracted, and both of us are in turn distracting the whole class. Why am I being distracting him? Because I want to have some transaction, some expressions with him, some communication with him, and that is not the right time for communication, but then I want to express because of my restlessness. Then what do? I say, I speak, I probably write something, or I show something I do, and he also gets distracted. Why? He also loves me, that is why we are friends. So in the process what happens? I distract each other, and then both of us get distracted from the classroom, from the class. So he comes and say, "Would you love to disturb a person who loves you? See, he loves you so much. And if you love him so much, then you should support him for his education. Then he will also support you for learning. Why don't you try that?" What a way of instead of telling, "Shut up," the way he used to take us in the classroom was so wonderful. And then the best part of it, after the class is over, he will say, "Did I disturb your mind? Did I hurt you? No, isn't it?" And then he will go. That is the kind of love he had towards his children. And similarly, you see, like that, he would treat every child with so much of care. I know myself, in our own classrooms, there were such wretched students who would really disturb every class. And they will disturb the teacher also so much. But other teachers used to get so wild, used to punish them, beat them. But this person would never do it. He had so many different ways of handling those children who are distracting. And we found after some, let us say 1 month or so, where the children try every trick to distract, after 1 month they found that they could actually experience, we all could experience his love. And when he comes, the very attitude of the class was totally different. The attention in the class was totally different. And the best part is, I could say for myself, because our class, most of the students would get very good marks in math. They would not get that much marks even in the other subject. I don't mean to say the other teachers were not good, etc. But the love and care of this teacher was so much that all of us would get attracted. And because of that love, because of that care, because of that selfless love towards the students, he would gain so much of love from the children also. And that would translate in the understanding of the subject and the presentation of the subject, giving the exam so well that most of the children never failed in mathematics. This is the glory of few teachers, we may say. But look at Bhagavan. The same teacher, the Mr. Krishnamurti whom I was talking about, is one minuscule of the small portion of what Bhagavan is. How much of us distract ourselves, distract everybody, make so much of problems. Now look at this war that is happening between Russia and Ukraine. All because of what? Ego. Pure ego. Think. Such ego comes out because of being very, in fact, frankly, illiterate, uneducated. Not understanding everything is nothing but Bhagavan. Think. At home, fights happen. Why? Because the absence of that, we just now saw, Vatsalya. Isn't it? That love is what Bhagavan extends to all of us. Here the Upanishad says, Sadeva Saumye. Saumye means, oh my dear student, my dear child, Sad eva idam agra asit. There is only Sat. There is nothing other than Sat. Which we have to understand. We will continue tomorrow. Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Harihi Om.